Well guys, I got my MacBook Air upside down here. I'm going to replace the hard drive. I just got the new hard drive from OWC. I got it fast shipped, priority shipped with FedEx. Because the drive I ordered from China was actually incorrect. This MacBook, which is a 2009 A1304, uses a proprietary hard drive, and I could not use the standard 40-pin ZIF connector, which came with the hard drive that I got. It's a little 1.8-inch drive, and it does not fit. If you look here, this is a shorter ribbon cable. It's supposed to be about that wide. If you can see my fingers there, it's supposed to be about that wide for the 40-pin. This is a proprietary. This 2009 model is an extra special one, and it doesn't take the standard 1.8-inch 40-pin ZIF connector. So OWC online saved me. I got this priority shipped. We're in a rush here. This is an SSD, 16 gigabyte SSD Aura Pro, and so we're gonna take it apart here. I've never ordered from OWC before. So they have the hard drive here, and it comes with a whole bunch of screwdrivers, which is actually really nice, and a little spudger or whatever you call it thing. That is going to be real handy for my hardware jobs going forward. So you pay a little bit extra from OWC, but I am currently impressed with what they're giving me here. They give you a different connector because it is proprietary, so they give you a special connector that is supposed to go right on the board, so I'm hoping this just works. This better work, because I paid about 160 bucks for it. Then they give you little tabs to glue the drive in the center. So that's pretty cool. So far I am happy with the OWC stuff. So now I'm going to go and actually try and plug this in here. So I'm going to take the ribbon cable off there. Let's see if I can set you right there. Get my screwdriver. I do have my own screwdriver. And so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this drive out and have a look at it. It is solid state, so I'm not too worried about condensation. It's a little chilly. 60 gigabyte Aura Pro SSD, 3.3 volts DC, 1.2 amps, and it is the 1.5. I went on to their help, and they have awesome online help actually. OWC solid state drive, Aura Pro MBA. Like I said, this is an A1304 2009 MacBook Air, 13-inch. And I went on to their live chat, and they pointed me right to this and told me this is exactly what I need, so I got this prior to ship right away. We needed it in a rush, so I didn't spare any expense getting it. So let's hope this works. I'm going to set this on the battery here, and I'm going to open up this ribbon cable here if I can. And there's the, this is a little custom ribbon cable, so it should fit right like that. So, let's see how it goes here. So this plugs in here. Now I'm not sure, this is fairly straightforward. Okay. It's a little odd, to be honest, because that does not sit flat. That is really odd. See, this piece here is kind of perpendicular. I guess you need to fold that up. But that is the right orientation, so it has to go like that. It can't go any other way. I mean, it only plugs in one way. So maybe I'm just going to fold this up lightly, and you can see what I'm doing there. One fold shouldn't cause a problem there. Let's see if I can get this in here. I'll pull this other tab off here. You don't need to take the battery out for this. I guess it's safer to do so. I'm going to try and... You know what? You got to take the actual outer casing out of this, because this is a little bit longer than a 1.8 inch. That's interesting. So I need to I can use my spudger, my new spudger. Just take out the wires here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but now I need to take out this little case here. Just the outer rim, because the actual SSD is longer, which is interesting. I didn't actually watch their video for this yet. I see it's attached. There's some temperature sensor attached on the side here. This is interesting. Okay, I'm going to disconnect this. I don't know if this is a thermal sensor or something. If I can. There we go. And that still doesn't want to come out. I'm going to take a quick peek at their videos, see what they're doing for that one, and we'll get back to you. It's always good to use a little help. So I don't know why I wasn't covered in the video, but I had to break the little tab off this little connector here. Plus I think this ribbon is upside down. I don't get it, but I looked at the video on OWC and it doesn't make a lot of sense. So whatever. Whatever. I'm just going to plug in whatever this sensors thing here. I don't think it was a thermal sensor. Anyways, put this in here and see if this fits or not. It's quite tight. I think there's enough room maybe if I just kind of flatten the ribbon cable there and bend it over, but again I don't know why it's like that, to be honest. See if we can dry fit it here. It's very, very tight. Maybe it's meant to be folded like that, but I didn't see that in the video, so very, very tight here. It should be fairly safe to fold this ribbon cable once. I wouldn't want to keep doing that, but there we go. It's not sitting very flat. Okay, I'm gonna do something else here. This is a pain in the neck. Shouldn't have had to do this. I'm folding it tighter up to the body so it can sit flush on the base there. And then this should snap in. Okay, so that works. You can see that. So I dry fitted it. I had to do some folding of the ribbon here, which is odd. So I'm going to pull this up and put the tabs on it. And I hope that's going to work. That better work. That's not in that case not super impressed with the ribbon that I got. So I'll put these tabs on here. This is just to keep it from sliding. Oops, I put it on the wrong side. in the absence of the actual metal case that goes around it. So plus you put the wires under this, I guess. So let's put that in there. Try and get this jammed in here again. It was just a tight fit there, so I'll stick the ribbon cable back in. Try to be gentle with it here. Stick this guy back in. Tuck it all down and under. This is really tight now. What I'm finding is that this thing doesn't stick up now. It doesn't stay open. Which might be neither here nor there in the end. And these plastic things are too foamy tabs are too long here. I suppose I could have put them a little bit further down. And that is that. Like, this is, I don't know why this isn't staying open here. It should, but this is a really tight fit. That's not real cool. But we're gonna try this, see if it works. Let's put the screws in. Oops, batteries in, tabs down, put the back on. And I'll put the screws in. We'll put it on fast forward here, and we'll see if it boots up. I was going to give OWC the thumbs up, but I can only give one thumb up because of the fit and finish of the hard drive. It was pretty tight, and the band seemed to have been manufactured incorrectly. And maybe it's just this particular model of MacBook Air, but they recommended it. The live chat lady recommended that drive for me. So it was a little odd, and it was a little painful getting it in there. I watched their video and it wasn't quite the same, oddly enough. I had to break off a little tab on the hard drive and casing to get it in there, and yeah, it just didn't quite fit as well as I thought it would for, you know, the $130 including shipping, plus another $30 import fees that I paid for it. So just be warned, nothing's perfect. First boot, so I've got a little USB stick in here with installer, so we should be able to boot up to that and start the install here. We'll see what happens. Okay, we got the boot into the launch software here, so let's see if we can format the SSD and start the install. Just Restore from time. Reinstall. So I'm going to use disk utility first and format the SSD. Hopefully it sees it. This is the big test of the OWC SSD. Again, I'm not super impressed with the ribbon cable. Okay, I see the Aura 3G. Perfect. Uninitialized. I'm going to erase it. OWC Aura Pro 3G SSD media, 60 gigabytes. Erase this guy. I'm going to name the hard drive LinsMac. Journaled. Erase. This shouldn't take too long. Perfect. Done. Alright, we got an initialized internal physical disk. So now we can close that guy. Now we can reinstall OS X from the stick drive, the thumb drive. So let's see if this actually pulls it up here. OS X can't be reinstalled because you aren't connected to the internet. But I want to install from the USB stick. I guess it doesn't let me. Alright, well, I cannot install from the internet right now because that will take up all my internet. So I'm going to wait for tonight and then I'll start the restore. I don't have a Time Machine backup in this case, so it's going to directly download it from the internet. So that's fine. I'll start that tonight. But otherwise, it looks okay. So I'm gonna shut this down and go from there. Okay, 2 tips for you. When you go and I've got my little bootable USB. When you go to reinstall this, you can get the error which says an error occurred while preparing the install, and the first fix is potentially a PRAM fix, where you hold down Alt Command P and R and reboot it. The other fix is to actually set the date. So this web page here tells you how to set the date. You go into the terminal in Utilities and set the date on it, and that's the other thing. That's what fixed mine. I set the date because it was 2001. So once I set the date, then it worked. So check that out if it's not working for you. And I'm going to start the download here and installing to my 60 gigabyte internal hard drive. Click install. It's signing into the App Store. It's probably going to ask for my username and password, which I'll then have to go and figure out. There it is. So I'm going to try and enter that, and then it should start downloading after that. Alrighty, hooray, hooray. After 20 minutes of fiddling and trying to reset my password and figure out what my password was and keychains, yada yada, I had to go reset it at iforgot.apple.com. That was miserable. So it is finally downloading, and El Capitan downloading additional components. Your computer will restart automatically, and it's estimating about 24 hours at the speed of our internet. So that is great. It's going to be going for a long time. It's about 6 gigs, I think. Now it's going down. 22 hours and a half, so we'll see. That might be finished by morning, we'll see, but it's finally going, so hopefully that will work. That was a bit of a stress out getting that hard drive going, but that's it. So maybe I'll do an update when it boots. So the sum up is that the date time did fix it, obviously, where it started downloading, and it did end up taking a good 14 or 16 hours to download at the speed of our internet, which is pretty slow. And all in all, it seems to be working fine. I have no further updates at this time, but that is how you install a hard drive. Now, as I said, I wasn't super impressed out of the box with the OWC hard drive because it didn't fit exactly into my 2009 MacBook Air, but maybe I just had a special one. You know, the box and the tools you get is really good, the shipping is really good, and you know, it looks like a good quality components. All that being, you know, all that aside, about it not fitting exactly correctly. So I'm just hoping that I won't see any troubles with it, and hopefully the next guy who gets a hard drive from them, it will just fit in. But that's kind of what I noticed. So that's it for the install of the hard drive on the MacBook Air. 2009 A1304. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll talk to you in the next video.